Hey, how's it going guys? Captain Kuba here and welcome to another God of War video. As you guys know, I've been playing the God of War series since the very beginning, so I've had the pleasure to see it change and evolve over the years. And one of the features that I always thought got underserved was, well, the Blade of Olympus. But more than that, the swimming or underwater sections. Now, I understand most people hate these sections, as they often come with bad camera angles and breathing restrictions. But I always thought the underwater sections of the first God of War game were stellar, as Santa Monica got rid of the previously mentioned breathing restrictions and just let players swim in beautiful locations and sometimes perform demanding but fun puzzles. But as the series evolved, these sections became more and more simplistic, as the main focus shifted towards combat. By the time God of War 3 was released, the underwater sections just became Kratos going from point A to B with no challenge whatsoever. And when God of War 2018 was released, Santa Monica had completely stripped the water sections and instead changed them to boat stories with Mimir. And let me clarify, I absolutely love these moments when you're just peacefully rowing your boat and Mimir's just going off with Kratos and Atreus about the gods and giants. But I also really miss the tension these moments provided.
Oh my god! What the crap? I like how you kept trying. Like, let me just swim a little bit.
So for the past few years, I've been quietly wondering if Santa Monica would ever add something more to the boat sections. A mechanic that would make these moments more exciting. And a few days ago, I think we got the closest thing to evidence that this might be the case for God of War Ragnarok. When Game Informer released the cover art for the God of War Ragnarok magazine, every God of War fan I know started discussing Brock and Sindri fighting, the many dragons, and above all else, the fireballs raining on the mountainside of Svartalfheim. And while I think these are cool details, the one I focused on the most was this lizard creature seen in the background. Now I believe this is the same creature we saw in the September trailer called Dreki. If you look at his back, color scheme, and the fact that he's a lizard, then we have to say that these two are most likely the same creature. I will say though, if we take distance and perspective into account, this creature is much bigger than a Dreki. But maybe Santa Monica Studios purposely made him bigger in the most recent image so we could see him. If not, then we're looking at another creature entirely. But who or what the creature is isn't the point. What I want to talk about in this video is where he's located. He is not on land like we saw him in the first trailer. He is now in the water. And his wide open mouth has me thinking that he will gladly interrupt Mimir's stories.
And when he found Thor awaiting him at the gates of Midgard.
So this might mean that we'll be getting an additional combat/evade mechanic for the boat sections in the game. The reason I've come to this conclusion is because this is not concept art. This falls more on the promotional side of things, meaning that Santa Monica has to deliver on everything the consumer sees in this image, otherwise they might be disappointed with the final product. Now, I understand that it's conjecture to think that there might be combat mechanics for the boat sections just because there's a lizard in the water. After all, there are dragons flying in the image, and I'm not jumping to the conclusion that we'll be able to fly in the game. Real good evidence would be a promotional image that shows Kratos and Atreus fighting this creature on a boat. But the reason I'm making an exception for boat combat and not flight mechanics is because we already know that there will be a lot of boat sections in God of War Ragnarok. So I think it's safe to say that Kratos and Atreus will run into these creatures a lot. Now, let me clarify, I'm not expecting a robust combat system with combos and runic attacks for the boat sections. If a mechanic of some kind does make it into the game, it will be something on the lighter side of things. Something to break the tedium of just rowing your boat. Do you remember those tentacles that would come out of the ground in Doom Eternal? They weren't necessarily difficult to defeat, they would just come out and the player would shoot them. They were more about keeping the player on the edge of their seats by making them pay close attention to their surroundings. Something like this system could be applied to the boat sections in God of War Ragnarok. Imagine Kratos and Atreus are minding their own business when suddenly a Norse crocodile starts to head their way. So you as the player have to steer the boat while also fending off crocodiles by throwing the Leviathan axe at them. The more hits you miss, the more Norse crocodiles surround the boat and eventually break it, resulting in Kratos and Atreus drowning. And I know Kratos drowning is very problematic according to the lore, but it's a game thing, just go with it. I know I sound like a 10-year-old explaining this mechanic, but I always thought Santa Monica Studios could do a lot more with the axe throw, and I think this idea could easily fit in with the rest of the game. But who knows, maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself with this lizard. Maybe they'll only be part of the scenery and nothing more. If that's the case, then Santa Monica would be improving the look of the realms by making them feel more mythological, which is also a plus in my opinion. We also know Game Informer will be showing more gameplay clips in the days to come. So maybe I'm once again jumping the gun by predicting something that will be revealed soon. But if it doesn't, I want to ask you something. Do you like my idea for a simple boat combat system? Lately I've been taking a break from analyzing the lore of this series, so naturally I've gone back to the things that made me fall in love with this series to begin with. Fun gameplay mechanics. And God of War Ragnarok already seems to be improving a lot on the combat mechanics with the axe and the Blades of Chaos. But why stop there? Why not add more gamey things to other aspects of the game? The two that need it the most are the boat sections and of course the climbing, which is something they've been suspiciously quiet about, so hopefully we'll see some big changes there as well. But what do you guys think? Should Santa Monica make something like the idea I proposed in this video? Do you think it would make the experience more fun, or do you think it's completely unnecessary? Whatever your thoughts are, make sure to leave them in the comments section below. Now as always, I would like to thank all of my members for supporting the channel monthly. People like Stefak, Vanderveer, Beige, Konoruki, Iman R, Ezra Imran, Zachary Powell, Roy Barkham, Dave Estes, Ron Solo, Mighty Fox. There's so many of you guys, and I honestly cannot be more appreciative of your support. If it wasn't for you guys, I really don't think I would still be doing YouTube, so thank you for giving me your hard-earned money to make these stupid videos. I would also like to thank everyone who likes and shares my videos. I know it doesn't seem like much, but trust me, it really does help. And with that said, thanks for watching, and remember, go forth in the name of Ragnarok.